so passionate about the institution of predatory gambling here in Massachusetts and across the country. Like, why have I dedicated the prime years of my life in this fight? So we get that question a lot. So if you, wherever you live in the country, in elementary school, you learn about the principle of no taxation without representation. It's one of the first things you learn. It's one of our core democratic principles as a nation. And so what's amazing about being where we are today, like that democratic principle, like it happened around here. Like it originated like within a half mile from where we are today. People walk these halls, walk these streets who advocated for that. And so to me, you know, that is one of our core principles that we learn. But today in America, whether it's Massachusetts, you know, pretty much 48 other states, we have a system of taxation by exploitation. And states are relying on predatory gambling, more and more extreme forms of predatory gambling to exploit the American people. It's America's most neglected major problem. And the fact that we're talking about internet casino gambling now is like, it is piling on a problem that is already, you know, an epidemic in our country, both financially, the harm that's causing people, and the public health harm it's causing people. So I would like to always start with, you know, it's time we added the principle of no taxation by exploitation, right alongside the principle of no taxation without representation in our country today. And because at its core, we have a glaring contradiction between the creed of our country and our practice. And that's what this is. It's not about what people do privately with gambling. It's about the role of government in society today. Okay, so I would like to start what predatory gambling is not, right? Because the gambling industry goes out of its way to blur the lines in what we're talking about when we're debating predatory gambling and so-called commercialized gambling. So it's not the Friday night poker game, you know, it's not the March Madness bracket, it's not the Super Bowl office pool or the Catholic Church bingo games, you know, it's not the friendly wager with guys on the golf course with your friends. That's not what we're talking about. Those are social forms of gambling. What predatory gambling is when powerful corporate gambling interests partner with state governments to use commercialized gambling to exploit and defraud citizens and their communities. So what makes gambling, commercialized gambling, different than any other business in the world is when gambling's being run as a business, it creates a predatory and adversarial relationship between the gambling operator and the gambler. They're trying to take you down. If you have a pizza at a local restaurant, that pizza owner is not trying to destroy you. You have a couple of drinks at a bar, they're not trying to take you down. The gambling industry, their business is in the terms of Natasha Shull's book, Addiction by Design, trying to get you to play to extinction. That's what this fight's about. It's about predatory gambling. We've heard countless stories over the last 2 or 3 years, you know, from all forms of media, about the rising price of rent in our country, the high egg prices, how it's the impact of the cost of eggs on family budgets. Story after story, how middle class and lower income folks are getting squeezed financially. Okay. What's the financial impact on predatory gambling on the family budgets here and the families here in Massachusetts? All right. So in preparation for this conversation today, we did some research. We went through Massachusetts lottery reports and the Massachusetts Gambling Commission annual reports. Okay. 3 quick points. Massachusetts citizens are on a downward spiral to lose $15.1 billion of personal wealth to commercialized sports gambling, regional casinos, and the state lottery combined over the next 5 years. Okay. All the financial wealth lost from all those forms of gambling the state promotes, it equates to more than $15 billion over the next 5 years. The citizens of the state have lost more than $3 billion in personal wealth to predatory gambling just in the last fiscal year 2024, when the numbers were available. $3 billion of lost personal wealth from the people of the state. To break that down to real numbers that people can relate to, that's $5,759 of personal wealth that the people of Massachusetts are losing every minute to what is a government program at its core. That's a lot of eggs. That's a lot of eggs. That's a lot of rent checks. It's a lot of healthcare bills. That is the core of what we move as a movement, and that's the heart. This is why the people in this building and the citizens of the state need to strongly oppose the legalization of online casinos. Is those numbers get even more extreme if we bring in online casinos. So thank you for the opportunity to be here.